Mr. Ceasefire is my nickname because I put a lot of work in on the streets in the concrete jungle when it comes down to promoting ceasefire. My personal mission right now is to save as many lives as possible. That's pretty much it. Well, I created the Violence Interrupters Initiative back in 2004. The Violence Interrupters are like a specialty team of individuals who can go out and stop killings on the front end. Before any shots are fired, we have the ability to intercept whispers on the streets because of our relationships. So they tell us what's about to happen. So before it goes down, we get a chance to bring both parties together and potentially stop the killing. There's always been talk of a serial killer in Chicago. Well, I became aware of all the women that had been strangled in Chicago. And what happened is, maybe a couple of years ago, it was brought to my attention by some ladies that I had known for some time. They gave me a call and they told me somebody needs to look into this matter here, because a couple of young ladies came up found dead on the west side of Chicago. One lady was found dead in a garbage can. Her body was burned. These killings have been taking place since 2001. You're talking about about 19 years. And so therefore, these are cold cases. The testing of the DNA should be a priority. It should be on the #1 priority list right now for the Illinois State Forensic Lab, but it's not. The Illinois State Forensic Laboratory, there's a backlog of about maybe 2,000 to 3,000 cases, so the cases cannot be solved based on the DNA backlog, and so the governor needs to step up and provide more resources to get, to kind of look at some of the DNA.
5,000 cases pending DNA testing, including more than 2,000 sexual assaults and more than 600 murder cases.
Our hope is that within the next 18 to 24 months, we start to see a measurable impact on the DNA backlog.
It's like nobody cares. I believe somewhere along the way with the Chicago Police Department, somebody went to sleep at the wheel. The women who lost their lives, who were strangled to death, I believe their deaths were overlooked. We organized several press conferences to bring attention to this situation here. We brought it to the main stage. 51 women that were strangled or either burnt to death, placed in garbage cans here in Chicago, totally unacceptable. I don't think the media would have covered it the way they did if a serial killer was not in the press release. But I know the police were not happy about us putting serial killer out there because they want everybody to believe that there's no serial killer. The former superintendent, Eddie Johnson, made that statement. If it was not for their, high-risk lifestyle, they probably would be here today. He was wrong for that. Half of the women may have been drug users or prostitutes, but that doesn't make them less than human. I mean, real talk. So it's black women that have been strangled to death. Who cares? It's like their voices have been silenced. But if it had been 50 white women, you would have had the media all over this story. This should be all over the Chicagoland news. But what happens because of the women's high-risk lifestyle, they've been put in a category that they may be prostitutes or whatever, and nobody's paying attention. And that's why guys like myself and some of my comrades, we have to keep bringing this out, at least speaking out about it.
The Chicago police superintendent has now ordered a review of all 51 strangulation cases in Chicago to see if there were DNA samples taken at crime scenes and were they tested. If not, why not? And should new tests be done to see if they get a match in the FBI system?